let's hop now. No, nothing can move you.
I want to deal with something that's very close to me. Okay. April, my sister came to New York, and COVID did not hit at all in this city. The vaccine or anything didn't hit in the city yet. I think we had a few cases, blah, blah, blah. And people were being xenophobic. People didn't want to go to Chinatown, stuff like that. Me and my sister, all us, her girlfriend, we all went to Chinatown. Appreciate her visiting. And we had a ball. We had a ball. Uh, about a week later, the numbers started to go up here in New York City. And my lady friend who works at a hospital, she hooked me up, gloves, mask. Went to the store because they was talking about shutting down the city. I'm like, why are you shutting down the city? Don't make sense. So they was going to shut down the city, put a curfew. So I went to the grocery store to get some food and stock up. And I had my mask on, my gloves on. Nobody in the store had gloves or mask on. Nobody. I was like the only one, everybody looking at me stupid. Whatever. So I walked through that whole sea. It was packed out of hundreds of people in the grocery store. It was in Mount Vernon. And Mount Vernon, downtown Mount Vernon, Greenwich Avenue and all that. There ain't that many grocery stores. So I went to the grocery store there. And Mount Vernon is more like a small town. I mean, you hear it in hip hop and stuff like that. It was a real little country bunchy. It's a nice, cute little town. I like it. It's totally different from the next town over, Bronx. It's a small little city. Cute, nice town. So as I was going home, I took my mask off a little bit to get a little air, and it flipped in and hit me in my eye. So if somebody had COVID and they did a lot of breathing, they got on that mask, on the outside of the mask. So when I got home, I had heat spells and, problems breathing. So I called the hospital, and the hospital say, what's your oxygen level? I told her I don't know. She said, get an oxygen meter, check your oxygen level. She said it was it wasn't low enough to come in the hospital. They wanted to reserve the beds, and they were putting people on ventilators. That we were doing all things wrong because we didn't know. We didn't know all things wrong. It was putting people who were not bad off on ventilators, you know. And at that time, there were there wasn't a vaccine. They was working on one, so people was taking whatever they can. The doctor was advising Tylenol, whatever, So a doctor gave me something they'd use in Africa, and I used it. And not saying this is a cure. I used it, and in 5 days, I was clear. I mean, I was better. I immediately got better, like within about 8 hours. My breathing opened up a little bit, but I still had a slight fever. And about 24 hours later, I didn't have a fever. Wasn't 100%. I still had the body aches, but by 2 days, I was good. So I said, I don't know if I had COVID or not, but this stuff helped me out. So I started telling everybody about the stuff. Said it's not a cure, but if you're afraid and you got some issues, you're feeling some of these symptoms, go get some of this stuff to help you out. Some did, some didn't. I lost one of my closest friends to COVID because they didn't have nothing to give her. But the thing that I used to help me, not a cure, I told her husband to get for her and told him that it maybe can help her out, help her get through this. Well, the doctors would not let her take the medication. And she died. And it wasn't really medicine. It was more like vitamin supplements. And she passed away. Just trying to help her out. Never said it was a cure. Told her help me, help a few other people. Maybe it can help you, maybe not. But at least you'll have something besides hope for the best, thoughts and prayers. Get the rabbi here, get the pastor here, which none of them was coming to the hospital because it was scared they was going to get it too. So, make a long story short, I began to do my researches on alternative treatments before the vaccine came out. And even after the vaccine came out, I was looking at alternative treatment. And then I started discussing the studies of those treatments, the different trials they went through, and what they've seen so far, the efficacy rate versus the survival rate. A lot of people think they're the same. Of certain treatment, how fast, hospital, NYU Langone did a study on a certain medication and how it helped. I mean, it's just, there were a lot of positive things about preventative care and a lot of positive things about uh, care right away. I wouldn't call it urgent care, but what you can do right away within the first 5 days of showing symptoms of the big C. So I caught it a second time, and the same stuff I used helped me get through the second time. So when I saw people who caught COVID, caught the big C or whatnot, I tried to let them know, say, hey, work for me, might work for you. As of now, we don't have a cure yet, so it's all hands on deck. Don't let them tell you don't try nothing. Try whatever you can to make you feel better. And besides, it should be a choice between your doctor and you, and the government shouldn't get involved with that. And they heavily did anyway. So I remember Jordan Chariton. I think he had it, and his, at the time, fiance had it. And I'm a caring person, so I the super chat and say, hey, try blah blah blah. This helped me out. I'm not saying it's secure, but it probably can help you get through smooth, and get through it real quick. Because I've had it twice, and I used this blah blah blah, and it helped me get through smooth and quick. And maybe it helped, maybe not, but just letting you know it helped me. He was open to looking into it because there was nothing else. And as soon as the V came out, he was a staunch person for the V. Still no proof that it would help. Still haven't been through the long-term testing. He was a staunch promoter of the V. Even got doggone draconious with it and dictatorship and fascist about it. Yeah, I said it. Dictatorship and fascist about it. There's something wrong with you. You need to be locked up and you need to lose your job. I'm not saying he said these, but that was the mentality of a lot of these people in New York that you guys lost your mind. You need to go take this. I've taken it. It should be okay with you. I've took some things and it helped me. Why would I need to take something when I had something that helped me twice? And then I never said nobody shouldn't take the V. I just told them there could be some alternative methods that will help you out. And a lot of alternative methods, the government was so fast to shut it down. Why? I don't know. Now they're open up to it. When we talk about treating it within 5 days, they were like, that's credible. It's hard to believe. Don't believe it. Don't believe the hype. And then after $50-something billion in sales with Pfizer, they came up with a treatment that helped you in 5 days. Go figure. My point is, most people will have an encounter with some type of C. And how they deal with it is determined on how they deal with it. And I tried to help Jordan and his fiance out, and they were open up to it. They were open to it. And I ain't got nothing against Jordan. I just got problems with him in this condescending way sometimes. Trying to act like he's the only one that know about electoral politics. You're a reporter, dude. You're a road reporter. Go report. Just cause you know the streets and you listen to people and things like that don't mean everybody's the same and everybody think the same and there's one way, your way is right in the mind. Compton J from the Revolutionary Blackout Network, he said, it's so revealing how the NATO left, I call them boutique left, loft liberals, Starbuckers, these Brooklyn hippies like this guy right here, Jordan Sheridan, consider being so-called anti-vax a red line, but funded Nazis in just a small disagreement. Jordan says Dem exit is pushed by people who don't understand politics. That's what he said. That the people who say exit the Democratic Party, they try to confuse us with Brexit. I got away from the Democratic Party a long time after I seen the way the Bernie Sanders movement went and how they manipulated the system, manipulated people, and Bernie was right there with them. I was like, that's some scummy, slimy stuff. I don't want to deal with people like that. And y'all got the nerve to talk about Republicans. Yeah, they scummy and slimy, but at least they find some way where it's so incognito, or so in your face that you can't deny it. You guys are doing some snake slimy stuff. Yet Jordan Sheridan want us to hold the fort for the Democrat. Because at the end of the day, even though he say he voted Green Party, he's still just a Democrat too. Because I think he admitted to voting to Joe Biden in this election. In the last election. Jordan says Dem exit is pushed by the people who get a lot of clicks of being absolutists and nihilists, but don't have plan to seize power. I don't get no click. Matter of fact, the opposite with me. I don't play these political games, Jordan. I don't take sides, Jordan. I don't pick and choose. I don't play the lesser evils. I don't. And that's why I don't get clicks. I don't beg for clicks. I don't need it. I don't want it. I don't sit there and say fund me and do fundraising campaign. I say if you want to donate information right there, I'm not sweating it. I got a job. I'm not begging for money or nothing like that. Sometimes I want to because I go through hard times just like everybody else. But I'm not doing that. And I want to build my network just like you want to build your network. But for you to call people like me absolutists and nihilists. No, I'm a black man who want to see my community grow. We've been neglected too much, and the Democratic Party is at fault more than anybody. I indict them. Yes, I do. I indict them and charge them. Calling themselves, smiling in our face all the time. They want to take our place back. Stabbers. These guys have moved from the back to the front and say, I hear you, black community. If it wasn't for me, I wouldn't be in this position. I hear you. So the best way I'm going to show my return of love is voting for everything else and everybody else but you. Absolutely nihilist. No, we're doing just like Malcolm X said. Detach yourself from these political parties and form a voting bloc and make them come to you. And when they do, you broker a deal. That's how Dr. King did it. You want this black vote, you're going to broker this civil rights bill or you ain't getting jack. Jordan said he find it funny that a lot of Jimmy Dore types support RFK Jr. Whenever somebody say Jimmy Dore type, these are the people who are friends of Jimmy Dore and hate his guts for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe because he's so popular and he got so many subscribers and he got so many ways of easily making money without going through a whole bunch of fundraiser bits. I wish I had that kind of calling where I can use my political fairs to go to a arena and open up and do a comedy show and feature some of my clips and have everybody laughing at the same time being informed with the news. I wish I had some of that, and Jordan wish he could do that. Make money off joking about this stuff. And then they got the weekly podcast. But I'm not going to go into that. Jordan has been in some positions himself, being dealt with TYT, false accusations. We still stuck by that, brother. We still said, hey, we got your back as journalists. And as long as you out there reporting the news, reporting what's really happened, bada boom, bada bang, we support you. But for him to say things like this, now, he said in this video that his misnomer, his no is RFK in his stance on vaccination. RFK is not anti-vax. He's talked about studies where the vaccine can lead to autism, certain vaccines, certain level of mercury in the vaccine, blah, blah, blah. He didn't say all of autism. He can't be anti-vaxxer because he have a record of being vaccinated. He just wasn't sure about this particular vaccine and warned people not to jump to the conclusion on this. Let's wait to get some more data, some more information. I'm waiting the long haul before I get it. That don't make me anti V. It's called anti-quick. I'm very careful. Once I see it's good for me, then I'll get it. Until then, I'm not going to let y'all rush me into stupid stuff. But this is what Jordan Sheridan said, and let me play this real quick.
Marianne Williamson, based on her polling, belongs on the debate stage also. I don't think she is running the campaign that I think needs to be run, which we can get into. But let's start with RFK. Besides the vaccine stuff, because I'll get to me, that's the deal breaker. Besides the vaccine stuff, I think a lot of.
So he's saying it's a deal breaker for him for not supporting RFK because of the vaccine. Because the man wants to wait until there's more proof on the efficacy and the ability of the vaccine in certain demographics and certain age and stuff like that. Because he's smart and intelligent and just don't want to jump on it because somebody says jump on it. That's that's a hard no for me, though. That's a no for me, dog. Anti-vaxxer. You sitting up here spouting this anti-vaxxer BS when he has a record of being vaccinated. And you know it's just that he's funny style about this particular vaccine. And that's a no for you for supporting him because he is careful about the vaccine and he's not going to go. He's not a Johnny go tell me what to do, Piper, whatever you say, I'll take it. And then I'll get on with the propaganda that you promote that even force other people. Nah, he ain't about that BS, dude. And look, I'm not endorsing Robert F. Kennedy. I'm just telling you, you're making a big over vaccine. That's the reason why you're not going to support this guy because he didn't agree with the mandates. Most people didn't agree with the mandates. They only did it anyway because the mandate said that if you don't take it, you're going to lose your job. And people need money and struggling and during COVID, all you got is your job. Let me let Jordan keep talking.
People are jumping on to RFK because maybe the vaccine stuff, maybe they look at, he's been good on the environment, which he has been good on the environment, sure.
Why are you so worried about why people are jumping on RFK? You're not jumping on him. Fine. But don't worry about why other people are jumping on him. Focus on you. I know what you want to do. You want to try to put doubt out there for people to stop jumping on him because if people doubt him, then they can look at Marianne Williamson or, now Cornel West or possibly Biden again saying, oh, he's the best that we got. Oh, God, thank God for Joe. He's the best that we got. Oh, I hope he's okay. Oh, get up off the ground, Joe. I know you're giving us the best.
I'll give him that. But it's ironic to me because these are the same people. A lot of these people. I will never vote for another Democrat again. If you even entertain voting for a Democrat, you're a sellout. But RFK jumps in.
We say we will never vote for another Democrat, not just for the candidate and the policies, but for the way the whole entire system of the Democratic Party and DNC is ran. It is a piece of work. It is a trash organization that has the ability to tip the scales to whoever they want it to go toward to, regardless of your fight, funding, vote, and campaigning and pushing the phones and pushing out. Despite all of that, they're a corporation. They do whatever they want to do, whether you like it or not. That is the main reason why people are not jumping on them, jumping on these candidates. Even when it comes to JFK, there's a whole bunch of reasons why people jumping on JFK, but why are you worried about it? Why are you so concerned?
To the Democratic primary. We love RFK. We love RFK. You gotta love their intellectual consistency, right? And I'm not hating on it. I thought it was
Intellectual consistency. No, somebody that finally got in a race that they can roll with. Just like with Cornel West. There's certain Democrat people say, yo, I can roll with Cornel West because, number one, he's not running in the Democratic Party. But even if he did, Cornel West he's not your typical just a Democrat. But yet he is a little worried about how somebody look at JFK.
Stupid in the first place. I voted for Jill Stein in 2016. I voted for the Green Party before in other races. I'm not a vote blue no matter who person, but I'm also not stupid enough to say I will never vote for.
This dude is a vote blue no matter who, and will shame you if you don't vote blue. He will shame you if you don't vote blue. Him and Crystal Kyle and all them will call you children. They'll call you intimidated by us, non-intellectuals, all that kind of crap. He's doing it now.
Someone, even if there's someone
asking for $5 a month,
I believe in, or I think will actually get in there and fight. If they have a D next to the name, I think that is stupid. It's pushed by people who know nothing about politics. It's pushed by people that frankly get a lot of clicks.
Okay, here we go again. It's pushed by people who know nothing about politics. Like he has a master's degree and he's taught politics 101 at Harvard University on the Bill Gates wing, where his classes are. Assuming that he knows the most about politics. Dude, if you don't stop this, man. Stop this. I mean, he's a fellow New Yorker. And I do have a care for him because stuff he went through a few years ago, I felt sorry for the brother. I felt sorry for a Jewish brother living in Brooklyn. I felt sorry for this brother. I felt sorry when he was sick as a dog. I felt sorry when his lady friend was sick as a dog and I tried to help him out. Give him some advice. Let him know what helped me, probably can help you. I did whatever I can. I guess for some reason I like him. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. I like Joe. We don't have that many people out there on the field doing reporting. He do some good reporting, especially on the field. But when it comes to this political space and him focusing on what somebody else is like and what they like, that's none of your business, dude. And just because they don't like who you like, don't mean they're spiritual dummies or intellectual dummies or electoral dummies. Which Marianne Williamson is all three.
Off of just being absolutist and nihilist, but don't actually have a plan to seize power. So I'm not saying don't entertain our.
He said by not voting Democrat and voting outside Democratic means that you don't have a plan to seize power. The whole point is we do have a plan. That is the plan to seize power, Jordan. The plan to seize power is to take power away from them. And the number one power they utilize is the power of the vote, especially black people. If black people take away from their power and hold it for themselves and see it as a hot commodity, see it as a valuable tool, see it as a treasure, they'll come to you to get it and they'll pay whatever they need to get it. Jordan, that is what you call a strategy, dude. A strategy. Shame on you for thinking we don't know what we're doing, especially in the black roots movement. We're not voting for you because you're black. We're not going to sit there and just accept you because you're black this and black that and black and black over here and black over there. We're not going to, it's not about that. It's what are you doing for black people What is your agenda and how do you plan on rolling it out? And do you support reparations? I don't care whether it's popular or not. That's not the issue. Who cares about that? That is a strategy. If you don't do the job of the people, we're not going to give you our vote. There's something we need you to do. If you don't do it, we ain't voting for you. That's a strategy. And usually when you get enough people to think like that and you collectively come together and say it all in unison on one big video, whatever, no black agenda, no vote, you'll realize that you just lost some power. And the only way you want to come get that power is you're going to have to submit to the black grassroots movement and their needs to advance and expand their community. You got to come to us and listen to us and take our platform and run with it. If not, you can forget about a vote. That is a strategy, Jordan.
RFK, because he's running as a Democrat, I just find it ironic. A lot of these Jimmy Dore types, burn it down. We will never vote for a Democrat. We will never vote for a Democrat. Followers and a lot of followers of his.
Most of Jimmy followers and most of the people who watch the Jimmy Dore, a lot of them are still Justice Democrats. Have you looked at his stats? Do you know who really watch it? I mean, the way people assume these things, the way he just assumed that that's what these people are. People that support Jimmy Dore got to be grifters and dummies and all that kind of stuff and don't know what they're doing and blah, blah, blah. Oh, no. These are people who want to see things happen. And when you see somebody talk strategy on a particular show about making things happen, they're going to get more views. By the way, what is all this hate for Jimmy Dore? I'm not really big into Jimmy Dore like that, but why do you hate from these loft liberals? Hating. This guy, Sam Cedar, Cal Kalinske, people who used to be friends with Jimmy. So he's saying all these people watch Jimmy Dore, and we know he talking about RBN, probably talk about Me Too, stuff like that. I don't watch Jimmy Dore like that. I ain't got time. I barely can watch anybody at all. I'm tired now. And let me go back and listen to what this guy said, man. This is crazy.
A lot of his followers and a lot of followers of his ironic at the very same.
Why you had to bring Jimmy Dore in this anyway? What this got to do with Jimmy Dore? People who have a strategy of no black agenda, no vote, ain't got nothing to do with Jimmy Dore. People who have a strategy of say reparation of bus ain't got nothing to do with Jimmy Dore. People who want climate change don't have to be a Jimmy Dore suck up. People who want to deal with housing and all that aren't always Jimmy Dore suck ups. But yet there's people who realize that that's a rigged system and you know it, but you still think we should be supporting somebody in that party. And that it's all about burning it down. I mean, both parties can burn down and we can revamp ourselves at all, but they can stay too. We can form another party. Life is more important than that stuff. He thinks we have a scorched earth mentality that screw the Democrats. We're going to do whatever we can to get them, to destroy them. Not knowing that we want to destroy the Republican Party just as bad. And we realize voting for another Democrat ain't going to do that. The only way we can put both of you in check is say no to both of you, detach our voting power, which means I'm telling you, this is what it means. You go and unregister yourself as the Democrat and tell them to kiss your behind. Unregister yourself as Republican and tell them to kiss your behind. And you come together as a major voting bloc. And he who can take care of our needs from top to the bottom, you can get the vote. If you can't, then can your butt away from here. Let me get finished with George.
These Jimmy Dore types, burn it down. We will never vote for a Democrat. We will never vote for a Democrat. Followers and a lot of followers of his mini channels that like to suck him off, to get clicks.
You hear this mess? Jimmy Dore lives rent-free in these loft liberal heads. The man decided that I'm not that type of dude. I'm not a sucker. I'm not going to be pushed. I'm not no vote blue no matter who. I'm not that dude. Nobody's going to tell me how to vote and when to vote and who to vote for. You're not going to do that to me. Ever since that day when Trump won and he said, "Don't freak out," these people freaked out. These people freaked out. And Jimmy Dore got so aggressive. He would still not bow down to the Democratic Party line and the torn and the, running the mouth form and stuff like that. That him and T came together and they just split it off. I mean, he was one of the number one with Aggressive Progressives. He was the number one show. These people were mad that Jimmy got so popular. And again, I'm not a fanboy of Jimmy. I'm just telling you the truth. Jimmy got so popular with his delivery and how he thinks concerning politics. And a lot of people identify with that. A lot of people are not lap dogs, sheep dogs, and easily be shocked with a shock mount into going into that truck to the voting booth for another Democrat. A lot of people are not like that. No, you ain't sticking me and pronging me with Jack. I bust you in your mouth before you think you're going to do that to me. You ain't going to tell me who to vote for, and you ain't going to shame me for it. And you ain't going to sit here and call me no names because I don't think like you do. I think your way of thinking is stinking. I think you the fool for going, continue to vote for another Democrat when knowing that party going to screw that party. You know they're going to screw them, and you still sitting there supporting them. And then you're going to sit there and support warmongers and things like that to continue to have power. When I say I'd rather take my vote and risk it with somebody who don't have a chance to co-sign for World War III. So bringing up this, I mean, Jimmy Dore live rent free in these people's heads. I'm like, what did Jimmy Dore got to do with that? And why are you calling these people Jimmy Dore suck-offs? Like you wasn't a suck-off back in the day, man? Y'all had to part ways over a sexual scandal. He was going to dump you for a sexual scandal, which I didn't believe, which I took your side. But it was over a sex scandal. But before then, you were sucking off him. I'm really upset at this dude, man, that he got to go this low. Man, just report your doggone news and move on. Just report the news. Get out there with your microphone and report the news, man. And stop with this foolishness. You mad at calling people sucking off Jimmy Dore for clicks and stuff like that. Now, the people who I think you believe they actually have a good show. And they actually talk about good topics. A whole host of topics, not always politics. And if they keep themselves where they are, they'll be able to go just as far as Jimmy Dore or you. Matter of fact, they're going to pass you because their format of their show is a good format. They pass me. I'm not mad at them. They got a good format. And it's very entertaining and very educational. Jimmy Dore, suck off. Get out of here, man.
They're on the RFK train. So very interesting. Besides the vaccine stuff.
How do you know they're on RFK train? Just because they talk about RFK more than Marianne Williamson? How do you know? There's two people, well, three now. There's two people running in the race. When Marianne Williamson come on your show and be condescending and cocky and arrogant and try to correct you and stuff like that, and you expect people to sit there and say, hey, I support Marianne Williams? Mostly people don't support Marianne Williamson because she got a few horrible policies. And a lot of people are not going to support RFK Jr. because they have a few horrible policies. And if I get some, they ain't going to support me, and I get that. Jordan, man.
RFK is pretty establishment, and has a history of being pretty establishment. So it's weird to me that all of a sudden leftists like RFK, who's not just his last name, is pretty establishment.
So this dude over here crying over RFK Jr. and crying because people like Jimmy Dore give him positive vibes. He figured people at RBN give him positive vibe. He figured that Savage give him positive vibe. He figured that Ron Placone giving him positive vibe. He figured all these people are giving JFK positive vibe and not Marion Williamson positive vibe. And he wants to make a case that why this dude is establishment too. Don't worry why somebody else supports somebody, man. I don't get it. Just focus on you, man. Let people be. Stop trying to shame people and make them look bad to other people. Stop. Stop showing how much a biatch you can be, because this is a bitch move. Simple stuff. You crying over somebody else's interest that you're going to do a video and talk about the people that watch them, which you probably do on a down low anyway, brother. Man, if you're going somewhere, Jordan, man, brother, I love you, man, but come on, dude. Hold your own nuts. Stop trying to hold somebody.